Okay, setting up. All right. Okay. I think so. I think so. Great. Okay, so now I need to close my YouTube on here, open up another device. Okay, so we are live. We are on YouTube. Let me just make sure and check that we are on Facebook too. I'm gonna go ahead and resume our recording. All right, so just give me one quick second, you guys, to make sure that we are live in all the places we are. Yeah. Okay. All right, we are good. I think we can officially get started. Welcome, Doug and Nikki. I'm so excited to chat with you guys. We have people watching live and people in the group, people on YouTube. My name is Kathleen Coble. I'm here with Doug and Nikki, and we're going to be talking about the Amazon Influencer Program, but more specifically, YouTube strategy for Amazon influencers. So I'm going to hand it over to Doug and Nikki. I would love for you guys to just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're at. We'd love to hear your journey with YouTube and with the influencer program. And I am going to make sure I can see all the questions on all my devices here as you guys are talking, and I'll be the one fielding questions. So we love questions. If anyone has any live, go ahead and throw them in the chat whenever you're ready.
So I think it's kind of a weird, kind of roundabout how we got there. But so we started our YouTube journey a few years ago, like probably about 5 years ago. We were traveling a lot. That was something that was always part of our lives, kind of going on these exotic locations that I kind of planned. And everybody was always saying, oh my God, I'd love to know more about it. And, not being the typical travelers, because we weren't like backpacking or things like that. It was something that enabled us to kind of put our videos up on YouTube. We said, okay, well, let's start recording our adventures that everybody's asking to see, and we'll throw them up on YouTube. So we started putting them up on YouTube, and we kind of fit a little bit of a different genre. We're a little bit older. We're not the backpackers. We travel business class and stay in really nice hotels and stuff. So we thought that's a little different segment for us to kind of capture a little bit different market. And, obviously things were starting to build. And because it was like a couple of years before the pandemic. And then all of a sudden, we had all this, like this major exotic like trip planned to India. And, it was just prior to, and everybody's like, oh my God, you're going to get like millions of views, because like, traveling to India at that time was like this happening, you got to go there. And then all of a sudden, literally the pandemic happened while we're in India.
And you guys were there? Oh no.
Yeah, it was already starting to close down in certain places. And I'm getting, texts from people, friends and families back home, like, are you guys still there? You got to get out of there because you're not going to be able to, which is a whole story in itself. Getting out, getting back, like, basically 2 days before they shut down the US, and we didn't know even if they were going to let us out. So then as the pandemic's happening, we were in New York at the time, and we were kind of locked in our house for months and months and months. Other states not so much, but we were at that point, and we were like, okay, well, we got to figure out what we can do. So I said, let's buy an RV, which is not really my thing, but I know he loved it. So I'm like, let's buy an RV. And then that kind of got us into Amazon. So as we were like, kind of supplying and filling this RV of all the things we need, everything from like hoses to
indestructible plates,
right? Hangers that fit in small spaces and stuff. It's just kind of like, okay, well, let's kind of review them, because we're actually using these products, which is like a big thing. Anybody like watching, it's really important, like, to use the products that you're reviewing. and so we, we're using them all the time, reviewing them, putting them up on Amazon. And then, was also a segment also helped in our YouTube journey as well, because it became a big, the segment of
big driver for content.
And and everybody was buying RVs at the time, whether it be travel versus RVs. Everybody's like, I gotta get out of the house. So we kind of slipped into that kind of segment of the market with the RV, and then put those up on YouTube. And I think somebody had said, well, why don't you put them up on Amazon? So that kind of started
that whole thing.
It
turns out we are some of the OG, because we've been doing this. I was looking at, preparing for this conversation, I was looking, our first Amazon content was June of 2020.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys are OG for sure.
Yeah.
And it was, it was all RV products.
And it was really driven, the whole start of it was kind of driven by the kind of algorithm on YouTube, in the sense that we weren't making as much travel content. And, if you're on YouTube, you need to kind of have consistent content going up. And we were researching things. It was like, well, what indestructible plates should we get? And we're looking on YouTube, and I'm like, we could do this too. We could do, I could do a review of the indestructible plates, and we could have new content for YouTube and feed that algorithm. And it turned into feeding the Amazon algorithm also, which was a good thing for us.
And kept us busy during a pandemic.
Yeah, kept us very busy during a pandemic.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I love how you guys turned the negativity of the pandemic, which, gosh, we all remember March of 2020, right? And
March 13th.
Oh my gosh. It's like one of those, where were you? I remember where I was. I was watching, I was at a bar with my husband, and we were like, should we be out right now? But my mom was in town, and she was like, go out, and then it was we saw on TV that the NBA had been shut down, and we were like, oh gosh, should we be making a plan right now?
Exactly. It's exactly.
I love that you guys took what you were already doing and then found another opportunity with that. And I think that's one of the greatest things about the Amazon Influencer Program, is that it's not just the only thing that all of us are doing, right? It's a side thing. It's supplemental to whatever you're already doing. And you guys found an amazing way to work it into your existing business. And so you guys have your travel and your Amazon videos all on one channel, right?
A little bit. We have,
or are they on separate?
We actually have two now, because we have the original travel channel,
which is Doug and Niki on YouTube,
which we started incorporating. It initially, we definitely did a little bit of product review stuff, in that we were both very into photography and equipment and that kind of stuff, in terms of, and we had to use a lot of it for the travel stuff. So we were always reviewing a GoPro, or saying, this is our vlogging kit when we go travel around, just, to make interesting content for YouTube. And so, so that channel kind of existed there. And initially we were like, okay, well, we'll make a new channel. We called it Reviews Unscripted, and we would just put the reviews there. But then after a while, we were like, well, we have this audience of 7,000 some odd people, and we're kind of ignoring them a little bit, because we're not traveling as much as we used to. And so then I started putting the more techie and camera related kind of things that seem to fit in that genre,
right?
The drones and the cameras and all that kind of stuff that we did reviews. We'd put it on the old Doug and Niki channel. And then YouTube has told us that, that's what the people want to see. They want to see the travel stuff so much.
Because honestly, with respect to the travel, I think there's a lot of great traveler channels out there that are still doing exceptionally well, but it is very saturated. And, unfortunately, when the pandemic happened and we had this amazing trip built, and we were growing very, very steady and very rapidly. And then once the pandemic happened, it just tanked, because obviously nobody is traveling. And, YouTube works on algorithms, so you have to stay consistent. So even the months that we didn't have in there before the travel channel, it's like, yeah, you don't exist anymore. So
But
it takes a while to come back. So consistency is a big thing.
yeah, but you know, so we still continue, like literally this week we were in Florida, I mean in New York a couple of weeks ago, and we did a couple hotel room reviews, and we put one of them up this week. So we're continuing to kind of dawdle around in the travel space, not like give up on it, but when
our other focus,
but when we do like more significant products or something that's a little more in depth, whether it be a camera or technology stuff, we put that on Doug and Nikki, and the most of what we put goes up on that reviews unscripted channel, which has just exploded in the last year. It's been
that is fantastic. I want to talk more about, I definitely want to talk more about your reviews unscripted channel, but that was actually one of my questions that I wrote down for you guys, because I work with a business coach, you know, so when I first started my Amazon channel, I was like, well, shouldn't I be putting these together, right? Because it's all my content. And, you know, she's kind of like, well, I think with YouTube, it's supposed to be separate, right? So like the channel everyone's watching right now is my more educational, informational channel where we talk about Amazon, influencer program, all that good stuff. And then I have a whole different channel where I put all of my Amazon product reviews, right? And I don't really do a whole lot like differently than the content I have on Amazon. I think my VA just puts like a logo of my Smart Business Mom logo on there, and then we throw them up on the other channel. But I know, you know, with the algorithm, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I really don't, like, we're on YouTube right now, but it's because I've, you know, tried this out quite a few times. I am not a YouTube expert. Amazon is my thing. I'm just trying to help more people and reach more people with YouTube. But I am really excited, actually, you guys. I just qualified for monetization on YouTube this morning.
Cool. That's congratulations. That's
literally this morning. They're still reviewing everything, right? So I'm not making money yet, but but I was like, oh, how appropriate. And I get to talk to Doug and Nikki today. So that was going to be one of my questions to you guys, which you've kind of already answered, right? Is having a specific, like, you know, genre that you have for your one channel. You don't necessarily want to just start throwing up your Amazon reviews unless it makes sense. Like how you guys said, where you're reviewing things that are within the niche that you're already working with on YouTube.
Because honestly, Amazon picks up on all those things. Words you say, things you write, everything. YouTube. They pick up everything that you say in your videos. So, you know, if you're kind of off topic, it throws off the algorithms, you know. So that's why it's kind of hard to take one and then just kind of make it something different. It's not like, I don't think people like, but it's, you know, I can't say people haven't ever done that, but
but at the same time, like our reviews unscripted is very completely random, in the sense that, like, I, you know, just looking around this room, I could be reviewing like noise canceling tiles or carpeting or a computer or a desk or these chairs. So they're all kind of not connected, other than the theme of that they're
reviews, right? But it's still, everything is reviews. So, you know, it is very targeted. Doesn't, you know, the products might be different, but it's very targeted. The travel channel, which I think it is definitely, we're kind of, you know, haven't for the little while been traveling. It's more just been me, but definitely coming back. It's just kind of taken a little bit after the pandemic and things changing and stuff.
we went on a great trip in Europe, and we did a whole bunch of videos for that, and you know, with interestingly varied success. But yeah, no, it's and particularly I think with the product reviews and the beauty of, I think, you know, you're monetized now, or once people you're teaching become monetized and they get the stuff up, I think it's really uniquely very evergreen content without doing anything for it, right? So like if you put up, you know, we did 1,000 videos for Amazon this year, and you put up those 1,000 videos on YouTube,
I'm clapping if no one can see my, because it's like going back and forth between us talking. So I'm just quietly clapping over here. 1,000 videos, you guys. That's fantastic.
Thanks.
But so those, I really believe those will be just as valuable 4 years from now as they are today, right? Like somebody is going to have questions about which sound reducing tiles to put up in their homemade studio, right? So it's going to live on forever in terms of the search, and it's never going to go viral, right? Nobody's ever going to have a viral product review video for the most part, but certainly it should be there for a very, very long time and kind of feed the algorithm and drive both hopefully success on YouTube. And the nice thing about YouTube is you could still point it back at Amazon and hopefully drive off-site sales on Amazon.
Yeah, those are two great points. One is that the content is evergreen, so it's not changing, right? It's never going away, which is just one of the amazing things of the Amazon Influencer Program, right? Is that as long as the product you're reviewing is available for sale on Amazon, your content can theoretically live on Amazon forever, right?
Right.
So, and then you're taking that and putting it right over to YouTube, where people are still searching for certain thing. What's the best thing that I need to buy to solve this problem? And then, like you said, you're linking back to Amazon. So now you're bringing people onto Amazon from YouTube, which Amazon just loves, by the way, and you're building up your offsite commission as well. So this is the kind of just the basics of the strategy, right, you guys? So taking all of your content that you're already creating for Amazon and throwing it over to YouTube. Now, when you guys do that, we do have, and I know everybody's throwing up some questions here, so I'm going to interject with some questions that we've got on Facebook and on YouTube. So Sarah asked, do you put up all of the reviews on YouTube? I'm assuming everything you make from Amazon, right? So do you guys put up everything on YouTube that you upload to Amazon?
Yeah. Everything goes up there. And we do, like, in terms of like a little bit of a strategy kind of thing, we do like the long form video goes up first. And then, because you can't have links on shorts anymore, but shorts will point to a relevant video. So then I put up the short, which points back to the full length video, which then has the link to Amazon.
Ooh, that is that's brilliant. I hope everybody is taking notes right now, because so I don't do that. I need to do that. So yes, the long form video, right, is what you're saying, is already on Amazon. You're putting that on YouTube, and then you're creating a short. So are you taking footage that you already have from the long form video, creating a short, and then linking to the
just cut it.
I take the same video and cut it into that vertical format and try to put it, sometimes I because you want it to be still relevant and entertaining and good. So just kind of find a couple like 20, 30, maybe 50-second long clips and just split it up. And then it's now 3 different videos or 2 different videos, something like that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sarah says, wow, very thorough. Yeah. I love that. I said, I need to start doing that. I did that a couple times and like the videos just didn't look quite right. So, but I mostly do horizontal. So I need to, figure out the best way to like edit those into vertical easily without me having to break open my laptop every time.
So my personal tip, which I tell everybody, this one is like, especially for people who are newer at this, is like, I really do recommend a lot using a newer GoPro, and you could shoot your videos in, is it 4x5 or 7x8? They have a giant square format where it's perfect for cropping it into a vertical, so it doesn't look disorienting.
Wow. Okay. So you can film in a square, and then you can use that for horizontal and vertical.
Yeah, it's perfectly, the ratios are perfect for going vertical or horizontal.
Okay, that's brilliant. I'm writing it down, which is why I'm not looking at the screen right now. I need to get a GoPro. I just use my phone, which obviously is easy enough, right? But in order to repurpose this content in the best way possible, like, don't shoot it twice. I get a lot of questions like, do you do vertical and then horizontal, and shoot it twice? And it's like, it just seems like a lot of work to do shooting the same video twice. So this seems to be a great solution to get rid of that issue.
Yeah, it makes the editing much quicker and easier.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love that. All right, we have a question from Sam. We kind of answered it. Sam said, is it a specific YouTube channel that you have created? So yes, Sam, they have 2 channels. Actually, you guys can answer that. You guys have 2 channels.
Yeah, so the one is the Doug and Niki, Doug and Niki, yeah. And then the other one is Reviews Unscripted, both on YouTube. And one is travel with content that has products associated to travel, whether it be cameras or anything travel related.
And maybe a couple RC cars, because that's fun making that.
And yeah, right. And then our Reviews Unscripted is all of the stuff that we take from Amazon and put it on. Reviews Unscripted.
Perfect. Love it. Yeah. And like Doug and Niki already said, just keeping keeping the algorithms where they need to be. Yeah. So they're not getting confused. That's why we have the 2 channels. All right. I am switching over to YouTube. We have a couple of comments and questions. 2 said, glad I could catch this live. Great to have you here. And also offered his editing shorts services. Fantastic. I might take you up on that. Clearly, I need help with that. We have one question. How long did it take to become profitable?
Oh, well, that depends if the RV was part of our operation.
Yeah.
Do they sell RVs on Amazon yet?
Yeah, it's so varying because it really depends on, how many videos you're putting up, how often you're putting up. It's like if somebody's trying to determine how long is it going to take me, like personally, how long is it going to take me if they're asking the question, it's really hard to say because it's say for YouTube, you need to get 1,000 people who have subscribed, and then you become monetized, and then everything else is just based on how many videos you're posting, and then what the stream of revenue is based on advertising from YouTube. So it's kind of a hard thing to narrow down because everybody's journey is kind of different and what they're doing on it and what they're posting
and even the more common question is, like you just made it to being monetized. Like that's normally the big question about the journey. Like how long is it going to take me to get the 1,000 followers and the requisite number of hours of view time?
Honestly, it could be, some people have had a viral video and then all of a sudden they have 1,000 people and then they're monetized and it happens overnight. Other people, it is a slower process to get there.
Yeah.
Right. Fair. Yeah. That's, it's a great question and a loaded question, right? Like how long does it take? It really depends.
There's no real answer because we know other people and everybody's different.
I think the answer is it's just different for everybody and depends how you want to do accounting, right? Like, did the RV count or do all the hours that do we put in all the time? Like our time is money, right? So like how many hours have we put into making videos and putting them up? And, for us, it's our free time, although we work more in our free time than most human beings work at real jobs, but it doesn't interfere with the day job. So I mean, we were lucky. We've done very well in it. So I'm going to say we were lucky. It didn't take very long, but it depends upon the person and how they do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Really lame answer, but it's true.
No, it is because other people in YouTube that we know, everybody's answer would be different. Like there's no real set, like how long it takes you to get to 1,000, how long does it take to be like it's just it's random.
Yeah, totally random.
All based on algorithms sometimes too.
And luck.
And luck.
Algorithm, content, luck, who you are, what do you do, how frequent, all that stuff. So obviously the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
Yes.
That's my answer when people ask me stuff like that, well, how long will it take me to get to 10K a month with the influencer program? And it's like,
I mean, it could take people years. It could take people, like I said, a viral video. They just happen to hit it and the video is viral. And then they have like 12,000 followers. Yeah.
Right. So speaking of that, we do have a question with how did you get your subscription rate high? So I think it's right. So how'd you build your subscriber base? And so you guys said your Reviews Unscripted is really taken off. What do you see as what would be the best piece of advice you could give to
I
people
would
watching
say,
to do that?
yeah, I would say the amount of videos, like, you know, we post a lot of videos. We
It's-
work really hard. I think that's probably the misconception, because I do see a lot of I probably see this more than you. Whatever it is on my algorithms, I get these videos all the time that there's always people, oh, make 10,000 in a day and make this and make that, and you don't have to do any work or work 3 hours a day. It's like literally not the case. Like
Mhm.
you need to like really work. Like you need to work hard. It is a job. Nothing is a free ride. Like nothing comes easy. Like
Yeah.
we work really
We work
hard.
really,
Yeah.
but and I think our subscriber count is actually a failure more than a success. I mean, we should be 3,000 by the end of the year, but I really genuinely don't change the content from what I'm using on Amazon. So it doesn't have any of those YouTube calls to action, right? There's no time in the middle of it where I'm like, hey, hit the subscribe button, give
Right.
us a like. There's no little animation which says,
Yeah.
click the subscribe button, which I think if
You
I
know,
didn't have to change the content to make that stuff, we would have a much higher subscriber count, because we really violate all those basic YouTube 101 rules.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That's actually very reassuring that you guys say that, because that's exactly what I do. That's the same, although my subscriber count is much lower than yours. But I think that's reassuring, and probably for everyone on this call too here that's listening, is that you don't necessarily have to repurpose your content and make it YouTube ready, right? You can take what you're posting on Amazon, post it on YouTube, and then kind of, do other things like put your affiliate link on there, of course, with the disclosure and all that. Is there anything else that you guys add to your description? Like, do you look at like an SEO description? Do you do just like a quick, blurb, or just kind of post it as is?
Most of it I just take from the listing on Amazon, and I'm kind of blindly hoping that whoever made the listing on Amazon did some SEO work in creating the description of the product. But I'm not, although I really believe those things are quickly becoming like a part of the past. Because like even 3-4 years ago, when we were on YouTube calls and working on intensely on YouTube, the conversation related around, keywording doesn't matter, the description doesn't matter, because the computers listen to and translate the videos, and they know what you're saying. They even have, like, you can go on Google and put up a picture on Google or put a video on Google, and they have a service where they'll tell you what they think your expression is and whether you're happy or sad or confused. Or so, like, the big data is already parsing our video and going to distribute it to who they think is important. So I'm not so sure that any of that stuff matters anymore. It's going to be more the content.
And I just noticed somebody asked, how do you keep up with all the changes, algorithm changes? In some ways, there's really no way to keep up, because they don't really tell you anything. There's no set, this is happening, that isn't happening. Like say in YouTube, for a while it was, you could have 3 hashtags. Does it work? Does it not work? Does it matter? Does it matter? Like there's no, unfortunately, set thing, and nobody lays anything out for you. Sometimes it is a trial and error. And we've been through all those things that you just have to keep trying different things, because there's really no way to keep up with the algorithms, and they're certainly not telling you like what to do.
So we generally just do our own thing, what works for our schedule of posting and what works for how we can most efficiently get the videos up on YouTube, and not use up a ton of time doing that.
But it's, as we've learned, algorithms sometimes, like with these companies, it changes quickly and you just don't know.
Yeah, you just have to forever chase
I wish I could say, because
that's so cool if we could figure it out.
Here. Yes.
Yeah.
See, and I completely understand with you guys, or I completely understand what you guys are saying, because on the Amazon side, right? Like I feel like YouTube is at least a little bit transparent, where they kind of tell us things that work, and correct me if I'm wrong, right?
No.
But on the Amazon side, I mean, I've been selling on Amazon for over 10 years. They literally tell you nothing.
Like zero, about
zero.
anything. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even 10 years later, right? And they do this on purpose because they want to keep Amazon knows that their data is invaluable to
Right.
everyone, you know, to them, obviously, but to everyone
Right.
else. So everyone's always trying to figure out what's the latest algorithm change with
Yeah.
Amazon. And I think to your point with like the SEO and the keywords, I mean, we started seeing that with Amazon, you know, even like 5 years ago, where it's like people aren't necessarily reading, they're just looking at the images. So then people
Right.
would start putting in like their features and benefits within the images because
Right.
we know people are not reading.
Right.
But we
Right.
kept the SEO stuff in there for the algorithm because we thought maybe, you know,
Right.
that would work. And
Yeah.
does it? I don't know. Sometimes it
Right.
does and sometimes it doesn't. But now Amazon is so focused on video, you know,
Right.
and that's why we're here. It's like I've got to assume, or at least hope, that the videos are more powerful in their algorithm than, you know, the
Right.
keywords written in the bullet points on an
Right.
Amazon
You
listing
would
Exactly.
now.
think
Like,
so.
yeah.
And I
But
think,
it's like we try different things and you just like, there's no real answer to anything.
well, but you can teach yourself, and I think it's good for people who you're teaching to do the Amazon videos. It's kind of like a little bit why YouTube is a great tool in the sense because YouTube does give you a phenomenal amount of information. So like you
Yes.
could you do your video, you put it up, and 2 days later you go look, and you can see exactly when people were
Yeah,
watching, when they left, when they came back,
yeah,
you know,
you
like,
can definitely
and you can teach
tailor. Yeah.
yourself what people like to see and what they don't
Yeah.
like to see.
And you go, yep, I was talking too long. Okay, cut
Yeah.
that out. That is true with those types of things. More, I was just talking about like words like in your description and stuff,
Yeah.
but how you're like what you're saying in your video, if you watch those things, those are really important because I tend to be really meticulous and like say for my, you know, our travel videos, I would explain, so you walk over here and you get the ticket and and you all this, and I explain all these things. You get a portion of the people that like long explanations, and then Doug, who's not a long explanation person, you get, you know, people, and you can see different patterns on what people like or where they drop off, what becomes uninteresting. If they're not learning something every second, then it's like, I'm done, and they move on.
Yeah.
So you have to keep it interesting all the time.
Yeah. Craft it for your audience.
Yes. And for your audience. Yeah.
Right, right. And that's why I love YouTube so much. I'm so grateful that you guys came on and are teaching me and everyone else that are watching about YouTube, because just the analytics, just the
Right.
analytics that I'm able to see is like, if I had more time, I would dive more into it and make better videos. Obviously, well, that's what I'm trying to do here, right?
Yeah.
But so, you know, but with Amazon, we literally see none of that. We can
Right. Yeah.
see,
Nothing.
what do they give us? They give us how long they've
Percentage
watched,
Yeah.
percentage watched, and is that it?
Yeah.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
Which
about it.
always seemed to me counterproductive, right? Like you would think Amazon would want to give us all the tools they could to help us make more effective videos for them and their
Which
products.
sell and make them more money.
Right.
That's what you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make, you know, because that's the reason YouTube gives you those tools. YouTube wants you to make stuff that keeps people on their platform, you
Yeah,
know, so
right.
they want to tell you how to do it and help you craft that. And you would think Amazon would want that, but they so far haven't decided they want.
And I think I just want to add in here because it's like a big thing with videos and videos being stolen and copyright. I love that YouTube, their algorithms, and they are keeping track constantly of your copywritten videos, and they let you know. And they say, this person stole it and we shut them down for you. It's like,
Yeah.
which is awesome. That's like a big thing because you put in a lot of time, energy, and money, your own money, making these, buying lights and cameras and all these things. And you want to have that, you know, your product, which is your video, protected.
Well, and they're competing against you in essence, right? Because it's
Mhm.
not like if we were doing a video of a review of the cruise ship and they took a snippet of it and put it
Right.
up in their video, okay, you know, they're kind of competing. But now I'm doing a review of a microphone and saying, oh, this is why we got to go to Amazon. And they're now directly competing with me with my own stuff.
Right.
You know, and we just had somebody on Amazon who stole 4 of our videos and was doing all the paperwork to get them pulled down. You know, it's a little crazy.
Oh, that's one of the most frustrating things. I love that YouTube has that. And
Yeah.
I
Right? Yeah.
hope in the future that Amazon would consider doing
Right.
something like that. I don't think it's very high up on their priority list because
it's
they're
definitely all
making
an
money anyway.
algorithm thing too, and they just know it's like, oh, this has been copied. So it's great that they work with you on that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. I hate finding when people are stealing my videos. And I know it's happened to you guys. It's probably happened to a lot of people that are listening here.
All the time. All the time.
I mean, just all the time. And I preach and preach and preach. Just everyone just don't do that. Just make your own content. It's not that hard.
Yeah. There's no reason
It's not.
to.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not.
Totally.
All right, I'm going to switch over to YouTube here. We have a couple of
YouTube,
questions. I want to make sure I'm getting everyone's questions. We've got Carl asked, can you upload other people's video reviews to your listings with their permission to your Amazon on-site? My family might have some items I want to show. Carl, if you are talking about your family, yes, I wouldn't. So everything we were just talking about right now, right? So obviously don't go taking other people's content and uploading it for your on-site commissions. But, Doug and Nikki, you guys both do videos, right? So, and we know with Amazon's terms, it's perfectly fine to have, like a family account or a husband and wife account, or, multiple people working and doing videos for the same account, just as long as you are right, honestly reviewing things and you're keeping within all of Amazon's terms and all that, right? That's totally fine.
Because I mean, if we had a channel and we had like 5 people, like we're like, okay, we have 5, say, employees that we hired to do reviews for us. That's certainly
and we know, obviously, we all know that those of us who do Amazon, there are channels where they have like 100 people doing reviews under one brand, which I don't understand how the math of that works. Right. But it seems to be okay with Amazon.
Yeah, it didn't used to be. So I know you guys have been doing this longer than I have. And I remember reading the terms when I first signed up because I was actually chatting with Liz Saunders, who you guys know. Right. So her and I were like, when we first started doing this, we would just be texting the whole time. Like, okay, did you see this? Is this okay? Like just kind of, helping each other, trying to figure it out. But one thing that was very clear in Amazon's terms was you only show one person. The one person has the account. That was super clear 2 years ago, right? So we were like looking at some of these channels, like they're violating terms. Like, okay, we know it can only be our face, right? It can only be our voice, whatever. And then it's probably about a year ago that Amazon changed that within their terms, that it was totally fine to have multiple people. I think they had a lot of accounts, not a lot, a couple accounts, I'm not going to call them out, but a couple accounts that were doing very, very well, that had many people that were doing these reviews, right? And if they're doing very well, that means they're making Amazon a whole lot of money. So
whether they're making money or not, they're making Amazon money.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Amazon changed that. Yeah.
They do, though. I know we have shot videos in places, like say we have a product that's at the beach or something. You do have to watch that you don't video any other people still, or if a car is going by and you have the license plate, like you can't show that, any distinctive buildings, things like that. Like they will not let you upload that.
A little that algorithm is a little wonky also sometimes.
So you kind of have to watch.
Yeah, sometimes things are, I know we've had people who, obviously no barcodes, right? No shipping labels, but we've had people get their videos rejected for even just having like personal pictures in the background, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
Covering up anything. I did a video where I didn't realize my street sign was like showing outside because it was through the window, right? And it's like, you can only see one of the signs, but Amazon caught that and they were like, nope, exactly. I didn't even see it. So,
no, we've had that. Like
it is definitely a little wild.
Yeah. So you just have to watch that.
Yeah.
If you're shooting videos, people.
Right. Everyone just be careful. Don't show your personal or identifying information, no matter what that means, right? All right. We have, Eric said too many bad actors will take advantage of the data and work the system. Oh, that's interesting with the stats. Yeah, I think Amazon has just always been very secretive. So maybe they will help us with taking down. I mean, they do help with taking down violators. Anytime I've reported and filled out the document, right?
It just takes
down.
4 pages of
Yeah,
documents.
it's just a big process that you have to go through to get it done.
I mean, it's not the worst
yeah.
in the world, but you would think they could automate it.
It's very annoying though. I mean, it's like not even very,
Right.
yeah.
I will say it's one of the few times that somebody at Amazon actually replied to my video.
That is true.
Like,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Normally
Yeah.
normally it's just crickets. You send
Yeah.
them something.
Yeah.
Because there was something missing filled out on the form or something, and they said it
Send
was
it back.
missing. Can you send it back? It's like, what? Somebody is actually
Oh.
speaking?
A person, like a real life person
Computer could have
responded.
done that.
Yeah,
A
that's
computer
true,
could have
but
done that.
It's
But
like, could it be a person?
Well, hey, so speaking of that, you guys, that just reminded me. I know we still have more YouTube questions. I promise,
Yeah.
YouTubers, I'm getting to you. You guys were featured on Amazon as a
Yeah.
creator.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about that. Like, did you have to do anything to get there? Was that a surprise for you guys?
Yeah,
Like,
total
tell us about
surprise.
being featured.
You know, because especially, I mean, the thousands and thousands of people that are like creators on there, and somebody reached out to us and said, hey, I saw you, like, we're featured as one of 2 creators of the month for October. And we're like, what? Really? And then they sent it to us. So yeah, that was like a cool thing.
Yeah.
That we, I guess, exist to Amazon in their world.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
it was neat. We're waiting
yeah.
for our Amazon button to come. So we can put it up in the background like a YouTube button or whatever. Yeah. But yeah.
That's
We
so
didn't do anything.
fantastic.
We
You
had
guys,
no idea.
They just found us, which
They
was
didn't
kind
even
of a cool
they didn't even
thing.
tell us. It was like on those
Yeah.
Facebook groups, somebody
Yeah.
was like, hey, we saw you were the creator of the month. We were
Yeah.
like, huh?
It was like, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great and very encouraging, right? To everyone watching, is that you never know at any time you could be featured as a creator of the month.
Right,
So
exactly.
don't get discouraged if you have a bad day or a bad week.
No.
Just keep
Keep
going,
going.
keep doing
And
it. You never know.
And also we're pretty much, I kind of we stopped doing the live streams like a year ago.
Mhm.
So we're pretty much 100% video influencers. Like, so clearly they are, as much as we always feel like we're like kind of like the red-haired stepchild that Amazon doesn't really like. They clearly are at least paying a little bit of attention,
Yeah.
if they saw us to
Exactly.
because normally they only talk about the live streamers for that kind of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. That's really awesome to hear, because I did live streaming like when I first got started. It wasn't very profitable for me though, so I stopped doing it as well. I'd like to go back to it at some point, but I just find that my time is better spent. Yeah, and my time is better spent creating the shoppable videos, because that's where I can see the return. Maybe if you have a larger following, the lives become better. But
because there's definitely people I see on there, but there are a lot of the stars now that I see that have or who are going to get like 1,000 people or 2,000 people turning in to watch them because they're from a show. So I understand that, but it takes a lot of time to put it together because you need to have all the products. And again, for doing one of the live
going to
streams,
do Housewives of Tampa.
I think a lot of people would watch that. It's a great idea.
What's that?
Yeah,
I know, right? So you have to have, I think it's like 75% of the product. So you have to set them all up, be prepared to show them. So it takes like pre-production time, production time, then the time it is sitting there and doing that. So you have to kind of gauge what works for you in your time, what is most going to be beneficial for your segment kind of thing of the Amazon stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's worth trying, right? For anyone who's out there,
definitely
like,
worth trying.
if you haven't done it, try it out. I think it's great, just practice anyway, to be live, to be showing the things, but Tyler said, I really wish live streams were more profitable. I enjoy doing them. They're fun.
And
you could just do it
not making money
because you enjoy it.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be, you can, and there's no set time, which is nice too. So it's not like, oh, I have to do it for an hour or 2 hours. Is that right? There's no set time. So, even if you pop on, you say, I'm going to do a couple of reviews of products and talk about them and to test it and just to see how it feels like to go live. And then you get some people and they might ask you questions. It's kind of, a fun thing to do as well. And, it doesn't mean we wouldn't go back to it either at some point.
Yeah. I was talking about, I was saying early on, I was like, well, maybe we should just do like a live. So I'm a big car racing fan. So I was like, maybe I should just do a live stream. All we'll do is talk about Formula One, but I'll have like a couple products in the background, and every once in a while we'll talk about a product and kind of create a kind of show about a conversation about racing with a couple products in it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think what I find more when I'm watching lives or when I've done them, few and far between in the past is like having a theme, right? Like this is the theme of all the things I'm talking about, because for me, I'm not going to sit there and watch somebody's live when it's like, oh, hot deals today. It's like, this could be totally irrelevant things to me. And
well, that's the thing.
And I don't really care to just watch, I have
Right.
plenty other things I can scroll through to waste time,
If they found some hot deal that wasn't on the front page of Amazon when you signed up.
Right, exactly.
Right. What are the odds that I need that, or that whoever's watching actually needs that too?
Right.
So, all right, we have a really interesting question that I'm really excited to hear the answer for from you guys. From YouTube, we have, what is the biggest mistake people make? Now, I don't know if they're talking about YouTube or Amazon, but I'll let you guys decide.
It's probably the same for both. The consistency, I think, is the biggest mistake, and not really. That's my answer. You might have something different, but I think consistency, especially for YouTube. YouTube, again, with their algorithms, they do want to see consistently posting videos, whether it be you do it 2 times a week or 3 times, whatever it is, that you're consistent and you stick with it. And YouTube did used to, like, when you'd say, like, you'd make a reference in your video, like at the end, with the call to action type videos, and you'd say, okay, we're going to be posting every Tuesday and Thursday. People expect that, and the algorithms kind of, start following and go, oh, they're posting every Tuesday, Thursdays, and that helps, I think. So if you're not doing that, that would be
I'm gonna
big mistake.
dovetail off that. That can also lead to like burnout, because it's hard sometimes. Like if you're trying to post twice a week or once a week or whatever it is, and you're really trying to do like a quality product, right? You're not just like doing a
so you're going against my
no, I'm supporting your thing. I'm saying to live up to that schedule that's kind of imposed on you is very easy to burn yourself out or make yourself annoyed or not interested in it, so but you can definitely, you just have to be, you have to, like you were talking about, it's the holidays now. So like in November, you just have to like have really grinded out a whole lot of videos so that you can have them come out in December and you can enjoy time with the family.
Right. But it's still consistency in the posting.
Yeah.
Even if you shoot them all at one time, at least your postings are consistent. That would be a big mistake to not do that. That's
but gotta be consistent.
Definitely. That makes perfect sense, especially with YouTube. Now, have you guys seen any kind of difference when you are consistent or not with Amazon? And I'm asking because, just in my experience with the seller side, right? I always saw better results and like more sales, and we would get, ranked higher when we were like in the account doing stuff every single day. It's like Amazon can see that you're being active, right? And I don't know if it's actually true or not, but I find that, if I have a couple days where I'm not posting any videos in my influencer account, I kind of see the clicks start to go down. And then and this could be seasonal, this could be the day of the week, right? Like everything is fluctuating constantly, but I find that, like, because if I'm on vacation with the family, right, I'm not necessarily posting. Maybe my VA is working on editing, so I'll post here or there, but if I take a couple days off and don't post anything, it's almost like I see my commissions and my clicks go down. And I don't know if that's because I hadn't, but then I start posting again and they'll go up. And it's not because of the new videos that I did, because we all know that takes a little bit of time for those to get placed and start getting clicks and all that. But do you guys find the same thing, or do you have any input on like consistency from the Amazon side?
I think, again, it is consistency. I always say to them, like, I think the same thing. I think any of these, like, and it's the same with like the other social media. We don't have to mention them, but the other social, it is a complete consistency thing. I really believe that their algorithms are like focused a lot to the consistent like poster and the person who is kind of committed to their business. Like they're committed to posting, it picks it up and says, yes, this person, this is why we want to post them, or, because they're consistent with, and they're serious about it.
And she's serious about that because like I have my job in the house is the actual posting it on Amazon. And if I'm like sitting around, she'll be like, so
why did you post them?
Yeah, did you post something today?
Did you post
So
so
have you posted anything the last couple of days? And so she keeps
so
me on the straight and narrow of doing that.
Yeah.
Very
So-
nicely. Sometimes she's like, I'll cook you a brownie if you go post a couple videos.
But I would say definitely everyone out there, be consistent. Pick your days, pick whatever works for you, but just stick to whatever you've decided is the best advice.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. Because like Niki said, you can batch your content. You can record for 1 or 2 days. And as long as you have stuff to post consistently on the schedule that you've had, then I think everything will work out.
And everybody's schedule can be different. Like everybody has to make the schedule that works for them, but just stick to your own schedule.
Right. Because then, you don't want to get yourself in burnout mode and then
exactly
schedule's out the window, right?
Right.
You gotta spend all day in bed or something.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. All right. So let's see. We have so Adam asked, hi, how do you keep your current subscribers engaged and attract new subscribers within your videos?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think I really mostly rely on the content itself. Like the content has to be engaging. And I think that was one of our threads to success on Amazon, is that we came from YouTube. So like we had been refining how to kind of succinctly tell an interesting story in 3 to 5 minutes and keep people interested for those like first 10 key seconds and that kind of stuff. So I hope we make decent content, and then we're kind of a little relying on the algorithm from that point forward. But I hope the content speaks for itself.
Yeah, well, definitely. If you guys are getting subscribers, that means people want to see more of your content. So
yeah,
I think that
and especially seeing as we aren't asking them like we're supposed to.
Exactly. We need to throw in a few of those.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Carl says, I make the YouTube videos slightly longer and more in-depth and then chop them down a little for Amazon. It's such an easy process. Okay. All right. That's a great tip there. Let's see. Little Garden asks, what is your product review channel name? You guys already said that. Reviews Unscripted.
Put that up in there. Yep.
Reviews.
And I put it up in the chat. It's Reviews Unscripted.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. And feel free to, if you guys want to throw your socials in there, I will go in and add them later, but everybody should be following Doug and Niki and Reviews Unscripted on definitely YouTube, and they're on all the other platforms too. So just go take a look.
You'll see in the name, it's Niki, Niki, because I know some people do the KK and it's like, you won't find me.
It's important. That's important. You got to get the spelling right.
Who comes up as KK?
No, I'm just saying people type my name wrong. They put KK.
But maybe we should grab that real quick.
Maybe.
Nobody's using it.
Yeah, grab and redirect it.
Right?
So
Yeah.
Definitely. That was one of our very first problems when we first started it all, and we wanted to have an Instagram page, and there was some couple who were getting married, and they set up a Doug and Niki Instagram page, and literally they did like nothing. They put like 10 wedding pictures, and they still haven't
reviews since then.
They won't reply to emails and stuff, and it's like,
All right. Well, if other Doug and Niki is watching, come on, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Release it.
Give it up.
Yeah.
All right. We have a couple more questions. So if you guys have any more questions, throw them in the chat. We are at 2:54. So we've got another 5, maybe 10 minutes or so, however long Doug and Niki are willing to stay. And I do have to leave at probably 5 or 10 after my chauffeur job starts at about 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Which is me chauffeuring my 3 children from school to where they need to go.
So I
back
can support you in that.
He's doing a chauffeur job too in a little bit.
Nice.
To go get the 22-year-old. So you're going to be chauffeuring for a while.
So it doesn't stop after they get their license. Okay. All right. That's okay.
You're all
That's
great.
okay.
Yeah.
I would rather them call me for a ride than
exactly.
anyone else, right? All right. Oh, we have a couple good questions here on YouTube. So Looptopia said, first off, I've really enjoyed your channel. I'm just getting going. Thank you. I always appreciate the kind words. You guys are all so wonderful. Let's see. Can you tag more than one product if it is the same product via a different seller? I've tagged 3 to 4 sellers who have the same product but slap different names on it. You know, I get this question a lot, and I want to clarify that you can't actually tag a seller, right?
Right.
You can't
No.
tag a seller. So
No, you
I just
only
want
tag-
everyone to know the difference. When you're saying I'm tagging different sellers, you can have multiple sellers on one product, which is identified with the ASIN, the ASIN number that Amazon has. It always starts with a B, like probably B0 or whatever that you'll see in the URL there. So I've gotten this question like literally 10 times in the last week. Can I tag multiple sellers? And I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain it to you all that you can't actually tag sellers. You can tag
Right.
products, and you should only be tagging one product if you want it to show up on that product page. So what are your guys' thoughts there?
Well, I feel like that's one of those a little like the opposite of whether you could have more than one person. Like that used to be really rigid. Like that was one of the things Amazon used to go crazy on. And every once in a while you get like a thing from them that you have 10 products would had 2 listings or something like that. So we have religiously only tagged one thing ever since the very, very, very early days. But then they started with like the this and that and those kind of things where you kind of are able to tag 2 things. But
we don't.
I just don't want to mess with it because it's so easy to get basically canceled by Amazon, right? So
it's not worth it.
For the
Just
sake
tag
of
one
maybe one little ancillary sale here and there, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, just tag one product.
Definitely. I 100% agree with you guys. Tag one product per video. Amazon actually they've updated their terms to say do not tag more than 3 products in your video. We see this all the time in Inspire, and I think that's a whole different like strategy anyway. You're never going to get placed on the product page if you're tagging more than 3 videos. But like Doug and Niki said, just tag one. That's my strategy too. That's what I do. But you will see multiple products on Amazon that are the same exact thing because they all come from the same manufacturer overseas, right? And there's multiple brands selling it, right? There's different people selling it, but it's actually different product listings. So
I think that's what they're meaning. The tagging sellers for the product that looks exactly the same. No, you have the one that you bought it from, or if somebody like gave it to you, you tag that person. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And tag the one you've bought or the one that's the most relevant, like the one that looks the same. And if multiple ones look the same and you didn't actually buy it from Amazon, then just do your homework and figure out which is the best opportunity for you to link to.
Yeah, totally.
Great. Thank you guys. I'm like, how do I explain this seller thing when I know so much about different sellers and the buy box and all that?
Half the problem is for me, it's like because you can't even search your own videos, right? So like if a year from now they change it and they say, well, we really only want you to tag 2 items and you've been tagging 3, like how would you ever go back and find it all?
Yeah. And that's why we take
it'd be impossible.
Yeah, we just go
just doing safe.
Just keep it simple.
Everyone listening, tag one product. One product. I preach that all the time. Tag one product. This is a great question that I've seen actually a couple times this week too. Are you able to add an email to your storefront banner? I know my answer to this.
I don't think so.
I believe it is a hot no. But I know there's at least one guru out there who I've seen. They said, well, put it in the graphics of the banner at the top. And it's like, again, it turns into the same thing. I'm not getting my whole thing that I've spent 3 years building canceled. So maybe 1 or 2 sellers can email me. Like it's just not worth it.
No, not at all. The sellers will find you. You don't need to post your email. But I completely 100% agree with you guys. My response to that is absolutely not. It will get past the Amazon bots for a certain amount of time, but as soon as you get on that radar, they're going to find you. One thing that Amazon has always had in their terms of service from the seller side, which I think translates over to the influencer side, is that Amazon does not want you to take people off of Amazon. So
Yes,
if you in
exactly.
any way, and I know when I first got started 2 years ago with the program, Amazon Live was a big thing, and people were doing these giveaways where it was like, okay, we're going to do a giveaway. Now you won, give me your email address and I'll send it
Right.
to you. A lot of people got shut down for that because
Yeah.
Amazon said you took their email address. An Amazon customer is literally owned by Amazon. And if you
Yes.
do anything to try to get that customer's information or pull them off of Amazon onto your
Right.
website or anywhere else, it is a violation of Amazon's terms of service for sure. I'm actually very surprised that they allow us to link to all of our socials in like the profile of the storefront. I think that kind of validates like the influencer thing. So they're like letting us do that for now. But they didn't always let us do that. And it honestly, like I said, it surprises me that they're letting people link to all the socials only because of that rule, right? Of it's an Amazon customer. They want those people to stay on Amazon, and they're going to punish you if you try to take them off.
For sure.
Yeah.
And really, I would say it is really important, anybody starting out, to really go through their terms of service and really understand them well, and really don't like try to test things. Don't test things with Amazon. Just follow what they say you're supposed to be doing.
Yes. And if you're not
they
sure,
will shut you down. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Exactly.
Or
And
come here and
buy,
ask one of us.
Don't go buying a whole bunch of products and then returning them. Like, don't do that either.
Oh,
Because
gosh.
that will shut you down too. Yeah.
No, they had a survey about a year ago, and that was one of the questions that was like, I can't remember how they worded it, but it was like, they basically asked, like, do you ever return stuff that you make videos on? And I was like, oh man, like, do people actually like answer yes to this? And then like, do people actually do this? Like, come on, like you guys, you gotta think like Amazon when you are trying to figure out, is this okay or not? If Amazon was your business, if you were Jeff Bezos, would you let that happen? Right. And if the answer is no, then it's probably a no.
Yeah. So big follow their terms of service. We're big like rule followers.
Yes, I know. That's why I love you guys. I'm the same way. Anything, there's no gray hat here. There's all of the hard work, right? All the hard work that we've put in. There's nothing worth risking that.
Exactly. You don't want to risk that. No.
No. All right, let's see. We have Aaron asked, can anyone get an Amazon storefront? Are there requirements? Yeah, so you need to like get into the influencer program. That's really the requirement, right? But once you qualify for the influencer program, which is you're basically hooking up one of your social media accounts when you apply, Amazon will say yes or no. You get the storefront right away when they say yes. That's different than having to submit your first 3 videos to get on-site placement. You'll get your brand store right away. They've had that feature in place, as far as I know, ever since they implemented the influencer program, because I signed up back in 2017 as an influencer, and I had my storefront, then. It's just they didn't have the on-site commissions back then.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's see. So B asks, what could you recommend to be doing to someone that is starting as an Amazon influencer, more for Amazon? What would you recommend to be doing as a starter?
Well,
pick a, I would say, if you really love fashion, make that your kind of genre, and
go through your closet.
And then
start.
See where things that you've bought the past, you've obviously are now able to talk effectively about products that you've been wearing. Or if you like
I heard a great tip earlier this morning. Somebody said you could search your buying history, and you like put in like a term like clothing.
Is that me?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw your video this morning. It was great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I said that in a group, and they were kind of like, wow, that's brilliant. And I was like, oh, it is? Okay, great. I'll make a video about it.
Just search what you've bought, and see.
And become an expert in that area, because that's also going to help too. Becoming an expert in like an area. Pick it. If you really like cooking, and you have all these pots and pans and stuff, and you can show using the pans and all that type of stuff, I think that's a great segment in.
Yeah, definitely. Pick your niche, pick what you're good at. I always say like look for the things that you already use and love, because your content is going to come off very honest and authentic, right? Like the things that I use every single day is what I started doing my, first videos on, which turns out are the worst videos I ever made because they were the first ones, but they still got sales because I was like, one of my first videos, I think it was actually one of my first 3, is me reviewing a laundry hamper, like literally had the phone, like this, like, hey guys, look at this laundry hamper. And it's like not a good video. And like, I don't even know if I showered that day, but like it converted so well. I mean, this laundry, it's $30 laundry hamper. I have it as an example in my masterclass because I made like thousands of dollars with this video because people were just like, oh man, that's a mom with a mess on her hands and she said that this helps her, and it does. I mean, I use the thing every day. I talked about why I use it, why I love it, and it made me thousands of dollars, and it was probably the worst quality videos ever.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Be authentic.
Yes,
and
exactly.
don't try to go beyond, just take it out of box and show a product. Like, show, I mean, especially you should see Doug's drone videos and cars. I mean, he's got drones out there shooting in cars and different angles, cars shooting the other car. So you don't have to be at that right away, but just be authentic to who you are and what your product is, and talk about it genuinely.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we have time for one more question. Sure. Which is also one I've been hearing a lot. I love you guys' opinion on this. So 2 says, I heard that having a lot of videos on your influencer store can impact your top carousel placements. Any insight on this? Have you guys heard people talking about this?
Like basically you're putting yourself out of business by putting out more videos?
Yes, I think that's the question. I've been hearing this a lot in like the groups and stuff, and speculation is that if you have, like, let's say you have 3,000 videos, is Amazon only taking a percentage of those 3,000 videos and putting them on the top carousel rotations, or are they taking, or is that not a factor?
So I know I strongly believe, I have no science other than talking to other people, that they have, especially for us, in essence, throttled us. Like basically, let's say for the last year, and I'm telling you, I've worked really hard for the last year. We put up thousands of videos, and there's been kind of, if you looked at it on a graph, there's been like no change in the number of views we get. Like every once in a while, if they take us off, when they remove the lower carousel, there was a dip, and then for the holidays, it goes up again. But like it's kind of, I feel like they've said, okay, the most number of people who can ever watch a Doug and Niki video is this number.
Right.
And so like by me putting up new videos, sometimes it feels like I'm not doing anything other than churning. But I haven't.
There's no information that they say.
There's no information, and I haven't said yet, okay, I'm going to try not posting anything for a month or 2 months and see if it actually dips or if it just stays at that level. And I'm technically wasting my time
posting.
Right. But so they're definitely, I really think they do want, at some point, they definitely, I believe they kind of throttle us. Like there's some certain amount of exposure that they'll let you have. And then beyond that, they're like, too much. We'd rather spread it out over, we just don't want you to have that much control over people and what they're saying. I don't know. Who knows what Amazon thinks, but
no information from anything.
Yeah, but I definitely know, certainly for this year, we've both booked and worked really hard and posted a ton of really good content, and there's absolutely no change in our exposure as measured by the number of views we're getting.
Yeah, well, first off, that stinks. And second off, I'm completely with you guys. Like same exact thing for me. And in some of the groups I'm in, a lot of people have been making that same observation. I think we've always not known, right? Because Amazon tells us nothing, like how you guys said, right? But observationally, right, is that they are throttling us because, I mean, yes, I've been adding videos constantly, and I still seem to have, like, on an average week, the same number of clicks every day, whether I have 30 new videos that week or 0 new videos that week. And I do think that there is a certain point where they're just either not showing our videos because so many people have already watched, or we've already made, a certain amount of money that day. But again, this is all speculation, right? And I've heard of people going in and deleting videos that they haven't had views on or sales on in 1 month, 3 months, whatever it may be. You want to be careful with that, because sometimes Amazon will rotate those videos back in. But for ones that are like 3 to 6 months, you've had no views, I'm hearing of people deleting those, and I've deleted a few myself. And then they're starting to earn a little bit more, right? Because their other videos are getting put up there, or whatever Amazon is doing.
Right. Whether it's based on, the number of videos you have, or like, cause you don't know, like, again, it's one of those testing things. Maybe let me try this angle, or let me not post for a couple of days. Like, there's really no way to get an answer other than just
maybe I'll
trial and error.
I'll see if my wife will let me not post for like a couple of weeks.
Well, if you do, let us know how that goes.
I don't think so.
In all avenues. Yeah. Well, I hate to cut us off, but like I said, I gotta go do the mom thing. And so Doug and Niki, thank you guys so much for coming on. Remind everyone where they can find you, and everyone needs to go subscribe to both their channels right now to say thank you for giving us this training and all this information. So tell us where we can find you guys.
So YouTube is Doug and Niki, all one word, and Niki is Niki. And then we have our other channel on YouTube is Reviews Unscripted.
All is one word again.
All is one word. Yeah.
But so those are the two. And then from there, all our social links are included on there. So it's easy to find us.
And it's fun talking to
you. Really. Yeah.
Do a great job.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you.
We're very impressed. We both listened to your program. We drove to Orlando and back and listened to the whole thing. It was like, yeah.
Oh, you did? That's so
really
nice. Thank you. Oh, thank you. If anyone's wondering, what are they talking about? It's my course, Influence and Earn. I'll put a link down there later. But thank you guys for going through it. I appreciate your feedback so much. And I really thank you guys for coming on and giving us all this amazing wisdom on YouTube. Like, we can't all be experts in everything. So my goal is to bring on the experts to help. And I've had a ton of people be like, I have all this content. I know I should put it on YouTube, but how do I do it? And what's the best way to get that going? So thank you guys so much. If you're watching the replay, throw a question in here. If there's anything we didn't answer, feel free to throw the question in, and I'll come back and answer as much as I can. Now I got to go jet off and get the kids, but I'll be back answering stuff later. Thank you, Doug and Niki, so much for coming on. Thank you everyone for watching. And we'll be talking soon for sure.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys.
Take care.
Bye.